On this episode, I'm going to be showing you how to fix a sunken in electrical outlet inside your wall. So make sure you stay tuned. Hey there friends, welcome to Fix This House. If you're new to the channel, consider pressing the subscribe and notification bell so you can always be in tune on DIYs, how-to videos, and product reviews that I do within this channel. So as you can see friends, I'm inside this unfinished bathroom and this was currently being renovated, and there's a lot of mistakes that we need to fix in this bathroom, including this electrical outlet and switch. You're probably wondering, how does this happen? Well, when they renovated this bathroom, they installed all the studs and they put all the outlet boxes with the switches, and then they put drywall on there. Well, everything was nice and flush until they started putting the tile over the drywall and all the cement boards, because we are in the bathroom, and it started piling up until it ended up being over 1 inch over the actual electrical box. Now this is the time where we need to push these outlets out and switch out so that it can be flush with the wall. So in today's video, we are going to be doing electrical work. Make sure you turn off the power from your circuit breaker before touching anything electrical. Make sure you are in compliance with your local electrical codes, and if you're uncomfortable in doing any type of electrical, please hire a certified qualified electrician. With that being said, all my full disclaimers on the description down below. Let's get into today's video. So what I'm going to be using is my voltage tester. This one's by Milwaukee. If you're interested on this specific one or something similar, and all the tools and materials that I use within this video, I'll leave all the links on the description down below. Check out those links. Insert one inside and you can see that there is power. Let's go to our circuit breaker and turn all the power off from the house. I just turned off the power from the main circuit breaker. Let's test it out once again. And you can see there's no more power feeding onto this switch or this outlet. There's 3 ways you can unscrew these outlets. You can use your typical flathead screwdriver, which most people use, but I highly suggest that you use a combination head screwdriver like this one. This is actually made that it fits directly onto those screws without having it threading out. So if you use this, there's a tendency that this will start threading out these screws. And the third option, which I like using, is this Black & Decker, and it's a cordless one. It's rechargeable like so, and you can change the positioning of the handle just by pressing of the button like this. If you're interested on any of these 3 tools, I'll leave the link on the description. So just to make sure, just take out your voltage tester again and just make sure everything is not powered. So whoever did this, they put electrical tape around the receptacle to cover out the terminals, which is okay. You just have to wrap it about 2 times and that should be fine. They just didn't do a good job at wrapping it around. Look at that, they just put this on one end. They didn't even wrap it around. So over time, that's eventually gonna start peeling out. It loses its purpose and it could end up starting a fire or whatnot. I don't agree on this one either, but we're going to change this out to a much better one rather than wire nuts. In case you do end up in a situation where you have short wires, because you're going to be pulling these outlets out and the switch out forward, you might not have enough wire. So that's where pigtailing is actually very beneficial. This right side in my situation is a 20 amp outlet, and this is a 15 amp switch. So this wiring on this 15 amp is gonna be a 14 gauge wire, and for this it's gonna be a 12 gauge wire. So these are 2 different gauges of wire. Okay friends, so make sure that when you start pigtailing or adding any additional wiring in there, make sure that they are the right gauge. Friends, sorry to interrupt, but if you're finding this video super helpful so far, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. It'll greatly help out the channel. Thank you so much for the love and support. Let's get back to the video. Just take yourself a little piece, a little 8-inch piece. Just pull them out one by one. Easy. I'm gonna take my wire stripper, 1/2 inch. Here's an example of wiring on an outlet or switch that I don't like seeing, and I don't practice at all, and that is backstabbing. You can strip off the wire and just push it in onto the back, and I'll rather do a back wire. On back wire, if you look onto this GFCI, it's back wiring. You stab it right on the back of this screw-in terminal, like here, and then you feed it through, and then you push it in and tighten it with this screw. That's called back wire. I've had this experience before where I just twisted this outlet, and you see that it's already starting to come out of the back stab where it's inserted. And you're having, oh there, that's a perfect example, especially this hot wire, and you're gonna have sparks and possibly cause a fire. Best way you can do, an option, you can do the back wire, or just do the old-fashioned way and just connect it with the screw-in terminals. So here's my pigtail. This is about 6 to 8 inches, depending on what you need. Here's a tool that I really like, and I highly recommend that you add this onto your toolbox. This is a Volt Claw. It has many functions. It has a twisty thing for if you're using wire nuts, a shepherd hook maker, a push tool to push all the wires in instead of you using your fingers to push all these wires inside your box. Hook right here to grab any wires that you can maneuver. Our shepherd's hook. So I'm using my combination screwdriver. Notice how it fits perfectly onto that screw-in terminal screw. Hook in your shepherd hook. You want to do it in a clockwise manner because as you turn this clockwise, that shepherd hook is going to start twisting around it. If you do it the other way, there's a possibility that thing will slip out. Old connection, just clip that out. Now instead of wire nuts, I like to use Wago 221s. These are easy to use. All you gotta do is push it in like that. Boom, easy connection. So now you're gonna do this with the same, all the other wires. This is just, I'm just gonna show you one example, but in my case, I have enough wiring to do this. So okay, they're all going clockwise. You can really torque it down tighter than if you were to use a regular Phillips head screwdriver because of how the tip is just designed. It's made for that terminal screw. There you go. Once you position it, just tighten it up. I really don't like how this was done. It's just really messy, and I don't like having all this extra electrical tape running around. So I'm gonna take out the wire nut, make it nice and clean. Now instead of using this wire nut, I'm going to use this Wago 221 wire connector, lever wire connector. Just insert one, lock it in place. Same thing here. Boom. A lot cleaner, easier, better. Trust me, cleaning it up now will save you on the long run. There, everything looks nice and cleaner now, rather than what it looked like before. What we're gonna do now is, since this is sunken in, we're gonna apply this box extender. It's made for a double receptacle box, like this. See how it just tapers in to slide it right inside. If you need a single one, they also make one for single ones, like this. I got from Amazon. I bought this with my own money and all the tools that I used in this video. I'll leave the link on the description down below. And just feed everything right through the box, like so. So this is gonna go right over, like that. Same thing with the other outlet. So they're just gonna go and feed right through this extender. Now this is where the Volt Claw comes in really handy. Now that you have this, you can push this wiring without having to use your hands and damaging your fingers and hands through this wire gauntlet at the back in position. This does come with these 1.5-inch screws. Put these outlets in. Let's cover the terminals with these electrical tape. Again, when we first saw it, it was only wrapped around one time. This one I like to wrap around 2 times, and I don't like stretching it. You want to just lightly wrap it around, have a good overlap. You don't want to pull this and stretch it, because if you do, over time it will start unraveling and it's going to get pretty messy. You want to end your tape downwards, because if your tape ends up in the up, over time this will start, gravity will take its place and this will start peeling down. Everything is nice and aligned. The box extender is right up against, now flush with the existing wall. Just take your cover now, place it right over. And it looks 100% times better. So now let's go back to the circuit breaker and turn back the power on. You don't necessarily need to do all that extra stuff that I did, the pigtails, the rewiring, but it's a good thing to do if you are going to be opening up these outlets. You never know what you're going to find behind there, and this is the perfect time that you should go and clean up and do some maintenance behind those and improve it, because somewhere along the way you are going to thank yourself for doing it because you did it the right way. And once again, friends, let me know in the comment section down below what's your opinion on the install of this. If you have any other suggestions, please share it with the community and leave it in the comment section down below. But if you're interested in all the tools and all the materials that I used in this video, again, I'll leave all those links in the description down below. If you found this video super helpful, friends, please hit that big thumbs up, press the subscribe notification bell, and I'll see you, friends, on the next video.